Now, sometimes I thank Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. He only was in Prabhupada's association for 9 months, but he had more association. He joined in 1976. He first met Prabhupada in 1977, and he had more association with Srila Prabhupada physically than 99% of Srila Prabhupada's disciples. Such an incredible fortune. And his whole life was sharing that fortune he received. That's just who Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj is. Whatever he receives, he wants to share. And during those 9 months, he was Srila Prabhupada's cook also. And Srila Prabhupada personally taught him so many wonderful traditional Bengali recipes of how to cook. Prabhupada loved his cooking. And later, Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj taught his disciples that same cooking. And it was one of his greatest joys to invite God brothers and God sisters and followers and general devotees and general people to come to his rooms wherever they were in Mayapur and Calcutta, and to the houses of his disciples, and where they would cook the very recipes that he taught them for the pleasure of all the devotees. Everything, just sharing what Prabhupada had given him. The first time I ever met His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj was in 1979. That was the first time he came to the United States of America. He wanted to go to preach and to serve at Srila Prabhupada's various temples in America. And it was also the grand opening of Srila Prabhupada's palace at New Vrindavan. I happened to be traveling and in the college towns and preaching, I believe, at that time. And I came back to New Vrindavan. And when I came back, I went to Srila Prabhupada's palace to have darshan of Srila Prabhupada. And I don't remember if it was just after the opening or just before, but in the little kitchen was Bhakti Charu Maharaj cooking. He would spend hours and hours every day, just all alone, cooking for Srila Prabhupada. And when I met him for the first time, there was just such a beautiful, unforgettable connection that was in my heart. Here he was, a person who was so exalted in his service to Srila Prabhupada, his association with Srila Prabhupada, and his very culture. He was born in Prabhupada's birthplace. And he was just in the most humble spirit. He was just cooking for Srila Prabhupada. He was putting so much of his heart and his soul into everything he was cooking. And it was just to offer the deity of Srila Prabhupada. And I asked him if I could assist him just by washing his pots. I was a brahmachari at that time. By washing his pots and by cutting the vegetables and cleaning the floors, or any menial service I could do to assist him. And he was happy just doing it all himself. In fact, it kind of seemed like he relished cleaning everything himself and cutting everything himself. But out of his kindness, he allowed me to help. And as I was just cleaning up for him, I could see the emotion in which he was performing his service. Everything was with such precision and such care because he was cooking for Srila Prabhupada. And just as he was cooking for Srila Prabhupada in Rishikesh and in Vrindavan and in all those places in Prabhupada's physical association, he was cooking for Srila Prabhupada in exactly the same mood, as far as I can understand, in separation, to offer to his deity. And during that time, he was very quiet cooking. He would personally offer it himself, if I remember. He would tell me so many beautiful stories, incredible stories of his relationship with Srila Prabhupada during those last 9 months of Prabhupada's Leela. And it was so special, so sweet. I considered Bhakti Charu Maharaj such an exalted personality. And yet, at the same time, such an intimate, loving friend. And this was special. It was a relationship that was quite rare for me, because usually people who were in exalted positions of sannyasis or spiritual leaders, they were kind, and I only looked up to them with reverence to serve. With Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, not only did I feel that, but he made me feel like an equal, like a friend, a person that could reveal his heart and I could reveal my heart as God brothers. And that was very special for me, to have someone so exalted to be such a friend.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on devotionalnectar.com.